When it comes to setting up budgets for the family members, it's important that you get very detailed and granular. Now, luckily, in the past, we had to do this all in Excel, and it was very laborious, and it was always very late. Today, there are programs. One that I like in particular for family offices is called eMoney. Again, I'm not paid by eMoney to endorse them. I just happen to use this product for my families, and I think it's excellent. eMoney, in a matter of minutes, can set up feeds from all credit cards to the system, and expenses are automatically categorized against a budget that you set up in the system, and all of this can be on the family member's phone. This is particularly helpful, for example, if children are away at college or young adults. They can't have any excuse that they didn't realize that they spent the money, because it's all there on the phone, looking at what they spent and what the budget was for that particular category. For example, food or entertainment or whatever, it's all right there. So it really helps people stick to their budget. You really want to make sure that family members are aware of their budget. I don't care if the budget is $1 million a month or $10,000 a month, but without being aware of the budget, I find that most family members have a level of anxiety in the background going on in their minds, because they really don't know what they're spending, and they don't know if they're spending too much. By putting it all in a budget and making it live and available on the phone in a secure manner, you cut down on that anxiety, and you get people into a mode of discipline that is very, very helpful and actually makes them feel much better in the long run. Typically, when you meet with your family office clients, whether it's monthly or quarterly, you have a budget review and then you have an investment review, because the investments cannot be made properly unless the budget is understood. One of the major things that family offices are tasked to do is to get ready for tax preparation every year. And it's very important that you keep detailed records. The IRS at the moment has lower budgets, but in different parts of the world, the tax authorities are getting more and more aggressive. So you want to keep all of the information and have backup receipts for every expense, so that you know exactly on a granular level what is being spent, and then what can be deducted on taxes and what cannot. Truly, it is important to hire the best tax team that you can afford. This is an area that is constantly evolving, and sometimes families, for example, started with a local accountant who was great when they were small, but then they had a big liquidity event. Now they have $100 million or more, and that local accountant can no longer handle the type of tax preparation that's required. So make sure that if you have suddenly become wealthy, you get yourself a tax accountant who can handle your type of situation. Also, if you're an international family, tax jurisdictions are changing constantly. There's new common reporting standard requirements for offshore accounts that require that you report offshore income back to your home country, unless you put those assets in the United States, because the United States is not participating in the common reporting standard at this time. So it's very important that you constantly check back with your tax authorities and your tax preparers and challenge them to always be giving you the best tax advice possible. You want to manage your taxes aggressively, but you do not want to be overly aggressive. It's not worth it to try to go for a structure that's so untested that it's going to cost you a lot of money in tax court to defend it. Stay well within the line, pay your taxes. The taxes are providing you with services and security and things that you need for your family, and be reasonable in what you try to deduct. One of the most important things you can do for your family office is to make it a digital family office. That means that there is no paper at the end of the day. We want to have every single piece of paper that passes through the office scanned and electronically available and backed up in multiple locations. I know a family who had all paper records. They were sitting in a basement, there was a flood, and that was the end of all their records. I know of other families who hired, an outdoor storage facility. Over 10 years, the papers rotted and they were useless. There have been fires and papers get destroyed, etc. So it's very, very important that you actually digitize every single piece of paper in the office. It's just a habit. You can hire part-time secretaries and people like that to do all of the scanning, but it's really, really critical that everything becomes digitized and that there are backup servers in multiple locations. This is where your IT team can help you make sure that you have the right setup to keep all of those papers under control. It is very important that you also set up protocols and systems that track who is accessing files. only certain people should access certain files, and you can set it up so that anytime somebody looks at a file, there is a digital trail. This is important for controls and security. You really want to make sure that whatever digital vault and storage system you use has the latest and greatest cybersecurity, and again, this is where you work with your IT team to make sure that all of your digital documents are safe. So in summary, in order to have an effective back office for your single family office, you should map out all your processes, hire the right internal and external staff, make sure that you're constantly checking for fraud and theft by requiring dual signatures and callbacks, make sure that the cybersecurity experts are involved in every step of the way, digitize your office, don't be overly aggressive with your taxes, put your family members on a budget that they can track on their phone using a system like eMoney, and make sure that at all times you know exactly where the money is, when it's coming in, and when it's going out. If you do that, you will have an effective and efficient back office for your single family office.